Hey guys, welcome to the Skull Show. It's your host Paxton, and we're here with Jason for the first time from the new setup. So we'll be doing our Week 17 predictions and maybe talk about some recent news. But yeah, should be a decently fast episode. We'll try to move through things, and our predictions race is pretty tight, so it's gonna be important that we do well tonight.
Are we making live on air predictions?
Yep.
Nice. Do they know who the infant is?
Uh, it is Kevin O'Connell. I think we've said that a few times, but what if I get rid of our names by doing that?
What was that?
I got rid of both of our names.
Oh, no.
So now nobody will know about the infant. But I think that, well, first let's talk about Jaren Hall. You think that was the right decision?
Might as well go with the rookie, see if he can be a good backup to Russell Wilson next year when the Vikings ruin their life and sign him.
Oh my gosh. I saw those rumors too. I think that is like the worst possible move we could make.
Wouldn't be good.
He is 10 years past his prime. But you want to know who's not 10 years past their prime?
A-Raj.
No, Joe Flacco.
He'll crash and burn. You watch.
That's what I thought, and here we are.
He will. Just give it time. Remember,
Yeah,
you
probably
wanted
right.
to sign Josh Dobbs to a lifetime contract. Now what?
I don't think we recorded an episode after that. Maybe in person, but I was always a little bit skeptical about Josh Dobbs, but it's a fun run, so
We
it's
couldn't
whatever.
record episodes from our eyes were burned to a pulp from watching Josh Dobbs and Nick Mullins play quarterback, so we couldn't see for a month. So that's why we didn't do any videos.
Yep. So that's why we're back with Jaren Hall, and this is the first video we've made since like week 8 or 9. It's been a while, but
Man,
do you want to start with bold predictions or score predictions?
score because I got to think of my bold predictions.
All right. So we have our leaderboard. You haven't done them the whole time, so we don't know really how well you maybe would have done. But here's a look at the leaderboard. I'm 14 for 41 with 4 touchdowns. You're 4 for 22 with a touchdown, and the guests who haven't been on very much, but they are not very good. 0 for 7 with 0 touchdowns. And the rules are you make 3 bold predictions per week. Wait, no, we're doing score. But okay, so that's a preview for bold predictions, I guess. Score predictions or game predictions. You are barely ahead, but it's comebackable. 137 to 241, and I am, or you are 141 for 241. So you've missed exactly 100. The guests again pretty far behind, 14 for 29. And I'm talking percentage wise. The guests are behind in percentage wise too, so volume doesn't matter too much. But we'll go back to the split view and let's go through the games. I got them pulled up just now. And so last night, Jets played the Browns. Browns crushed them, but it seemed a little bit more like the Jets had just given up than the Browns were that good. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, the Jets have mailed it in. They put the
Yeah.
envelope in the mail and it's been delivered. They're done.
Yeah, they don't care anymore. Their
Nope.
quarterback situation not good. Zach Wilson looked good for a week, and now he's hurt. So we'll get into this week's games tomorrow. A great game on Saturday Night Football. Do you know what it is?
It's the Detroit Lions against the Dallas Cowgirls.
It is, and Vikings played the Lions pretty well. We haven't talked much about that game, but we played them pretty well. Jefferson is the best player that's not a quarterback in the NFL. Arguably Tyreek Hill or CMC. CMC and Tyreek Hill are the only people you can argue at this point.
Well, I don't know about that.
I mean, come on. That he makes so many good catches, but we're talking about the Lions Cowboys game. You want to start off with this one?
Yeah, Detroit's not that good. It's gonna be probably a close game, but the Cowgirls
Mhm.
at home have been pretty good this year. It'll be Cowgirls 30. Dan Campbell will make a bad coaching decision and lose 30-27.
Yep. I also have the Cowboys winning. I think that they do. Both teams play well indoors, so I don't know if the home field advantage is too much of an advantage for this one. But I think that the Cowboys have a lot more to fight for than the Lions do, because it could go anywhere from them having to play the AFC South, who are terrible, but it's an extra game. Injuries can happen to potentially being the one seed. So Cowboys have a lot more to play for, and I think the Cowboys win 34-28.
Nice. Vegas has Dallas -5.5. You're right there at 6.
Yep. So next game, another great game. Games are a lot of good games in these last few weeks, but this is Dolphins at Ravens, and I'll go first for this one. I think that the Ravens get the job done. I think they will cover their 3.5 point spread and win, let's say 31 to, we'll go 27. So pretty similar scores there. I think
Who'd you
that's
pick?
exact Ravens, because the Dolphins don't play too good against good teams, which is not good if you're trying to make the playoff run. But Dolphins are good. They might get the win. This should be a really entertaining game with Lamar versus Tyreek, but definitely a fun game to watch. But I do think the Ravens will get the job done.
Yeah, the Dolphins haven't beaten anybody with a winning record, and that's actually a fact. They haven't. But I think they're going to do it. I think the odds just say that eventually they're going to do it. Dolphins 28. Lamar Jackson throws a late pick to lose it 28-26. Dolphins.
Yeah, I mean, I think Lamar is actually really good. I've always not really liked him throughout his career, but after watching that Monday Night Football game, his O-line stats are so inflated because he will look like it's an easy sack for anybody else in the league, not named Josh Dobbs. However, Josh Dobbs will throw it into the stands, and Lamar Jackson will make a somewhat accurate throw. And
Yeah. Josh Dobbs has some really good passes into the stands. The Bears Vikings Monday night game we're at. I would have caught one, but I was sitting too low. It went into the upper deck.
yeah, yeah. Um,
And then Nick Mullins just
Lamar's
throws
good.
it to the other team, not to get sidetracked.
Nick Mullins just, oh,
He's not,
I made him. He literally, I think he's a good guy, but not a good football player.
no.
But yeah, we won't get too sidetracked. Patriots at Bills. Bills are gonna win this, and I bet they'll win 31-20 or 17. So again, right on the spread there.
Bills 60, Patriots 5.
Yeah, Patriots are not good. Although they did beat the Broncos, which the Vikings couldn't do. But yeah, Falcons at Bears. Ooh. The Bears are kind of hot lately, but I just don't think they're that good. But I do think they're better than the Falcons. They are at home. I think that they will win 27-24.
Bears 24, Falcons and Tyler Heineke 16.
A lot of quarterbacks that are playing right now are were on the Vikings at some point with like, well, not that much, but three, I guess. So you
And
got Heineke and Browning.
and Jim McMahon is the Bears backup again after he played for the Vikings 15 years ago. And when Josh Fields gets hurt, he might come in and lead them back to victory.
Yeah. It's yeah. Next game, Raiders at Colts. This I think could be a sneaky good game. Raiders have been pretty feisty lately, but I think that the Colts do get the job done. They have Michael Pittman back, who is pretty good, and I think that they will win maybe a little bit more low scoring, 24-20.
Colts 20, Raiders 13.
Yeah. I do agree it'll be a little bit more low scoring, but I mean Raiders have been feisty lately. Another team that was feisty last week against the Packers, which is the Panthers playing the Jaguars. Uh, the We can talk a little about Jaren Hall at the end, so I'll save that. But I think that the Jaguars will win 34-13. Put the Panthers back in their place at 2-13.
So is this a good or bad time to tell you that Trevor Lawrence is not playing?
That's a great time. I already knew that with CJ
Okay.
Beathard out of the Iowa University.
I think they might score negative points with him at quarterback. So I'm going to go Panthers 6, Jaguars -3. Can you do that?
I don't know if you can just say 0 if you want, but keep in mind Bryce Young will probably throw a pick 6, so you can just put it 6-7 or something.
7-6 is the final.
Who wins? Jaguars?
Panthers.
Oh, remember we're in a tight race, by the way. For
I'm not scared. I'm doing it.
Titans, Texans. All right. Texans again, or Titans are a little bit feisty. I think Stroud's back this week. Case Keenum, which is another former Viking who had been starting, so that's 4, counting the Vikings backup. So 4 Vikings backups have started, or 4 backups who have played on the Vikings have started this year, and Case Keenum is one of them. And I think that he's not very good anymore. We love him still in Minnesota, but he's not very good anymore. But with Stroud back, I think the Texans win 27-20.
So who's Keenum on again now? Titans?
Texans.
Oh, and Stroud's the quarterback?
Yeah, and he got hurt, and then
Yeah,
Keenum will win.
he's back. And who they're playing?
Yeah, Titans.
Yeah, and it's in Houston?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. That's going to be a sneaky close game. Is it for sure in Houston?
Yeah, it is. I'm looking at it right now.
Houston 28, Titans 27, but I'm almost inclined to pick the Titans, but I'm not gonna.
Last time they played, it was close. I remember it was Texans won by 3, but that was in Tennessee. So yeah,
28,
next
27.
game. Yeah, okay, that's pretty similar. I think 7 points isn't that much. I think it'll be pretty close. I think the Titans might have Tannehill playing, or maybe Levis is back. I don't know. I don't think it matters that much. But next game, Rams at Giants. Oh, the Giants already beat a team that we needed them to beat, which was Packers a few weeks ago. Can they do it again against the Rams? My answer is no, just because that's how the Vikings' luck works. But I think that the Rams will win on the road, and I think they'll do it rather soundly, 31-20.
Rams 20, Giants 14.
Yeah. Tyrod Taylor's starting. I think that, the DeVito run is definitely over, but again, we'll always appreciate him for beating the Packers.
He's on the Josh Dobbs bus.
Yep. And do you think Flacco will end up on that bus?
Well, he's already gotten a Super Bowl. He's proven himself, but yeah, he'll filter out for sure.
Yeah, he throws a lot of balls that look like they should be picked. Remind you of somebody?
Nick Mullins, Josh Dobbs.
Yep.
Yeah.
And about how many of those 2 people lasted success? Because remember, Nick Mullins had a really good half. The Bengals, we were up 17-3 at half, so he started off good too. But next game, Cardinals at Eagles. Ooh, ugly game. I think Kyler's hurt too. I think he might be questionable. But
Eagles,
go
I'll
first.
go first. Eagles 30, Cardinals 13. Blowout, not even going to be a game.
Yeah, I think that I'm going to go 1 point lower, or 2 points. I'll do 28-13 for the Eagles winning. But yeah. Next game, Saints at Buccaneers. Another game that would help the Vikings if the Saints win. I don't think this one affects us too much, but actually, let's have the Buccaneers win because somebody's got to win that division. So I hope the Buccaneers win, which means that I think the Saints will win. Going by the Vikings are unlucky logic again, 27-23, Saints.
Yeah, I don't think the Vikings need to worry about this game, but the Bucs earlier Skull Show prediction, and I said, if you remember, I said they would beat the Vikings in Week 1, which they did. And then I said Tampa Bay would go on to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. So I was wrong on that. but they will. They've been playing good. They'll beat the Saints. Sean Payton isn't going to coach very well for the Saints because he's in Denver right now. So it's going to be Bucks 21, Saints 17.
It's pretty good. Next game is Niners at Commanders. Most people probably don't realize this. This is actually pretty important for the Vikings. We want the Commanders to win this, and the reason why is because it'll keep the Niners competitive next week when they play the Seahawks. And if they beat the Seahawks, that gives the Vikings a straight path to the playoffs. So
If they win their games, though, of course.
yeah, but the Seahawks could also lose this week to the Steelers, which is the next game. So let's finish this one. I think the Niners will win 34-17.
Yeah, this is a blowout. This is it's going to be just workman-like victory for the Niners. It's not they're not going to score that many points because it's just going to be very workman-like. 26 for the 49ers and the Washington Redskins 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, who's their quarterback now? They're starting Brissett, right? That's
I
right.
think so.
Yeah, so interesting
not the
situation there.
Not the Commanders. Not the Commanders. Not the Commanders.
Yeah. Next game, Steelers at Seahawks. I'll take. I've gone on the path where the Vikings get unlucky, but I think we actually get one here. I think the Steelers will upset the Seahawks away. I think they'll win 27-20, which, and my reasoning why the backups getting lucky seems to be the theme. And it seems to be two games that they do well. And this happens to be the second game for Mason Rudolph. So I think that the Steelers get the job done.
I actually think Mason Rudolph's decent. I don't know why they started Mitchell Trubisky. He's terrible at football. I think it's hard to win in Seattle. They're the 12th man. So I think I should pick Seattle, but I'm not. I'm going to agree with you. Steelers 23, Sea Chickens 20.
Yeah, I think the Steelers could get it done. And both of us could be right. Trubisky's terrible. You're for sure right on that. But I feel like Rudolph might be that good, or he might be in that second game for backups. Either or.
You never know.
Yep. Next game is Chargers at Broncos. Meaningless game, which is why I'll take. This is tough. You want to go first? This is an ugly game.
I don't even want to think about this game, let alone watch this game. Oh man,
I'm
but
lagging out.
Sean Payton needs to win because he benched Wilson. Broncos 12, Chargers 10. Did you get that, or did I cut out? Hello?
You were cutting out for a little bit of that, so
12-10.
you're cutting out for a little bit of that.
Broncos 12, Chargers 10. I'll repeat what I said. I don't even want to think about this game. I've already talked about it too much, let alone watch it. 12-10, Broncos, Sean Payton.
Yeah, so I'm going to take the conservative check down route here because I don't want you to gain on this game, a meaningless game. I don't want you to gain on me, which is why I'm going to take the Broncos as well. I'm going to take them 17-13. And then next game, pretty good game. Bengals Chiefs rivalry here. I don't think Jamar Chase is going to be playing. I think he might actually. I'll find out, but I'll find out while you make your pick.
This was an easy one. Chiefs 34, Bengals 16.
Yeah, so it looks like Jamar Chase is questionable, which makes it tough. I think that would definitely help out the Bengals, but I do agree that the Chiefs will win. It's at Arrowhead, so it makes it even harder. I think the Chiefs will win 31-27. I think it'll be a little bit closer than you do. But that brings us to our final game, which is Sunday Night Football on New Year's Eve. People will probably still be on their way home from the game while the New Year's while the ball drops in New York because it's an hour ahead. But when it hits midnight here in the Twin Cities, it'll probably have hit midnight for you too before they get home early. But you want to go first?
Is this the last game of the weekend for sure?
Yeah, there's no Monday night.
Okay, I'll make my prediction and I will give you a bold prediction. How's that sound? So
Well,
the
that'd be a perfect segue.
bold prediction: Packers will win by 20 or more points. Final score: Packers 31, Vikings 13.
That's pretty similar to last year's New Year's Day game.
Yep.
And I think that I I made a video a few days ago. Do the Vikings want to lose out or win out? And I made a comment in that video. The Vikings, the one thing they don't want to do is go 1-1 because that will give them a middle draft pick, and we will probably miss the playoffs. And I think that'll probably happen because we're the Vikings. So I think that we get the win here, and I think it gives all the fans hope. And Jared Hall, I think he plays well. And then we go into Detroit next week and lose, but I'll get to that later. I think that the Vikings do win. I think we do it pretty good, 31-24 after Jared Hall does well. But remember, we'll lose the next week because we don't want to go 1-1
on that one. I'm not. I don't want to go down a tangent here, but I'm not a lose guy for draft picks for many reasons. The draft is a crapshoot. You don't always know who you're getting, and we have a terrible GM that'll make a terrible pick, so it doesn't matter where they draft.
Yeah, he has not been too good, but
that's
Addison's been a great pick, although he did die, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's passed
along with his colleague.
Yeah, I think Packers are going to crush.
Addison. I think that Addison's questionable. I don't think that makes too much of a difference. Speaking of which, I also made a video on this. Did you see Jaire Alexander's suspension?
You sent me it. I didn't know what was going on when I first watched it, but since then I've figured out what's going on. And yeah, interesting cat there, that's for sure. What a bird brain. He will never play another snap for the Packers in his career.
Who do you think's smarter, Dan Campbell or Jaire Alexander? We might need to make a full video on this eventually.
I think Dan Campbell looks like Albert Einstein compared to Alexander.
Yeah, he is. Wow. But that brings us to bold predictions. So you have one that Packers will win by 20 or more, but we'll put the leaderboard up on the screen again. I know we've already went over it because I accidentally put it first, but I'm 14 for 41 with touchdowns. You're 4 for 22 with a touchdown. I guess again, way behind us in percentage wise too, and they are 0 for 7 with 0 touchdowns. I am the leader by far in percentage wise, so the volume doesn't matter too much, but hopefully you can make a lead or gain on me again today. For your sake, I hope to extend that lead. And I'm going to start off by saying that I don't have any good ones, but I think that Jordan Love will throw 2 or more interceptions versus the Vikings.
All right, then I'll make it the opposite. I think he's, for my second of my 3 bold predictions, Jordan Love will throw 3 or more touchdowns.
Yeah, both can be true. I definitely think that. We've experienced that in a guy named Nick Mullins. You can throw for 400 yards and also 4 interceptions in a game. So, yeah, I think that we could both hit there. But I'm going to go to the Vikings offensive side of the ball, and I'm going to say that Justin Jefferson will have over 100 yards in this game, and I think he will do it by 20 more. So he'll have at least 120 yards in this game.
Okay. My final bold prediction is going to be this. It's not very bold. This is like maybe an extra point. If it's not bold enough, I can change it. But the Packers nor the Vikings, neither one will make the playoffs this year. Or is that not
I think that's bold. That's fair. Yeah. So you have a prediction that could still very well be true, and I think it might be true. It was, if I go way up, because I have to go up in the document, but you said early in the year that the NFC North order will be I read it wrong. So it's not,
Packers.
and you said it would be Packers, Lions, Bears. Yeah, I thought you
Yeah.
had it Lions, Packers, and then you had Bears over Vikings, which I think is still technically possible, but
Oh, it
at this
is.
point, it doesn't matter. hmm
What's your
Uh,
final bold pick?
ooh, well, I just had one come off the board for me, which I'll get to quick. I had one that was titled "All three quarterbacks on the Vikings roster," and this was, I think, before the Raiders game. All three quarterbacks, Mullins, Hall, and Dobbs, will take a snap from some point from now to the end of the season. So that's pretty good.
Nice.
But my final one is going to be more long. I'm just gonna make it on what I said with the Packers game. I think the Vikings will go 1-1 in the next two games.
All right.
And
Will we have another Florida school show or not?
we can next week, and then depending on how long we're there, we can do it again this year where we try to predict the entire playoff bracket. You want to do that again?
Sounds good.
Last year, I was pretty good up until the end. I had the final four teams remaining perfect, but I had the Bengals and Niners in the Super Bowl, and it ended up being Chiefs Eagles. So yeah, but
So I'm assuming I didn't do very good.
yeah, you weren't as good. I think you had like the Cowboys going far. You had the Vikings losing for sure, which was I think your only take that was like perfect. Other than that, it ended up not being too good, but it's all right. We still got another year, and we'll see you guys then. Well, if the Vikings, if it's meaningful for the Vikings, we'll probably be back next week. Otherwise, if we lose and Seahawks and Rams win, then we won't make one. Does that sound fair?
Sure. Before we hop off, I just want to say to all the viewers, my appearance on the Skull Show was brought to you in part by Buffalo Chips from Bonita Springs, Florida. Had the spicy garlic wings a little bit earlier. It made my arrival to the Skull Show delayed due to technical difficulties with my stomach.
Yeah, Buffalo Chips is always good. Not an official sponsorship, but if you guys are in Florida near Fort Myers, check it out. But yeah,
So,
that's the end of this video. Thank you, Jason, for coming on, and thank you guys for watching. Skull Vikings, keep our hopes alive for another week because I would like to watch another playoff game this year, and I think we can beat the Lions in the first round.
prime
See
time,
ya.
prime time, prime time.